typically would be a blessed chalk. Father Adrian, you remember he used to have bunches of chalks and he break them. He blesses them and he break them into pieces. Give all the kids chalk. You can bring your own chalk, have Father bless it, or maybe just get holy water and sprinkle it on your chalk, and then you go to all the doors of your home, typically your front door and your garage, your back door and your side doors. If you are at a lot of cups of coffee, you can do all your windows too. And I have no objection to that. Okay, and you write down. And I had an old copy, it still had '08 on there for the year, but I just changed it to 19 for this year. So you have, get your, head of the household, gather everybody, have a nice meal, and prepare, and then do your household blessing. So you can do that on the 6th, which is that's Sunday. Probably want extra too. And I gather around and just go to each room. But first of all, go to the front door and trace these, the year on the two ends there, and then the initials of the three wise men, Caspar, Melchior, and Balthasar. Sometimes Caspar is spelled with a G. You'll see some of those sometimes. C or G. But you get to the front door, all the doors, and trace this with chalk. It's funny because our house, especially the garage, I don't know what year, but we have all this year. We don't erase the previous one. We just keep writing it. So I don't know how many years we have there. It's easy, go to all the rooms. You have 3 bedrooms, go to the 3 bedrooms, pray that. And I would typically go around and sprinkle holy water around the room. As you're doing it, you can add more prayers. Obviously, in the beginning or in the end, you can add your, Lord's Prayer, Hail Mary, Glory be. You can add prayers. You can add spontaneous prayers. Especially in some households, experiencing some things, or unusual, like, all these appliances breaking down all at the same time, you know what I mean? Especially in those cases or other cases. And you just feel like, move with the Spirit. You feel like the Lord's asking you to do more prayers, spontaneous prayers. Pray for the houses of all your children, if they're not here, pray for the houses. You have friends that are experiencing some difficulties, illnesses, and extend that prayer. Pray for their household, that their household will be cleansed, will be rid of all, negative vibes and evil spirits and other influences that are from the enemy, right? Places that maybe, why does this house get flooded? Or why does this house, get infested with, if it's not one insect, it's another, and they just never stop. The enemy doesn't sleep, and he will do anything to distract you and cause you discomfort and cause you to be agitated. That is his goal, to not let you have any peace. Anything that disturbs your peace is not from the Lord. When the Lord allows the suffering, as you know, when he has a purpose, there is a certain kind of peace even in the midst of that. But when if it's the enemy, it's different. It's different. He's so oppressive. He is just a stinker, So in cases like that, I just distributed a blessing for the home, for the Feast of the Epiphany. And like I said, I was saying you can add your own prayers according to what's, the Spirit leading you, and include in those prayers houses of your children, your relatives, family, especially those who are experiencing some weird stuff, because, nothing will dispel those, but blessings, holy, blessed objects. Gets your bottle of holy water, and get it from the baptismal font in the church, or any church, any parish. They have a supply of holy water. Fill up your containers. Get a jug for that matter, no problem. People here at St. Anne, they come with their jugs and fill them up with holy water. Yeah. Because you're supposed to be blessing your home.
Walk that way, please.
My reporter, my screenwriter.
Let's put a tether on her.
Producer. Yes.
Is it true that you have a bottle of holy water, and when it's almost empty, all you have to do is fill it back up, and then it's holy water again?
Yeah, you have a single drop that's blessed, right? It blesses the whole jug. So what they do is like water from Lourdes or any of those famous, miraculous healing waters. And they go, I can't go to Lourdes. I can't go there every year. I don't have the money. I don't have the money for the ticket, obviously. People come back with water from Lourdes and give them out to their friends in a little bottle, right? So what you do is one drop of that blessed holy water blesses a whole jug. That's water. You can't fish it out anymore, right? It blesses the whole thing. But if I were you, I would just keep a steady supply. Get it from the church, keep a steady supply. Question.
For the leader of the household to perform the blessing, you could also need to be in a state of grace for that.
In the state of grace, obviously it would be, a better, but like the sacraments, they will not, the blessing does not depend on the person or even on the priest, right? We told you that. Giving the sacraments. The sacraments are a work of God. But if the person has the intention, then it will be effective. But obviously, right, if the person is in the state of grace, that's even better. But you know what? God knows the situation, right? So if this person is, deceitful or not meaning it, but all the others are believing in God and praising Him and hoping, right? And having the faith, what does God do? Right? What does God do? He honors the faith of the people. Do not limit God. Again, do not limit Him. Like you said, even a priest ordained for that authority, given that authority straight from Christ, and he is not intending it, or he is not in the state of grace. And all the people are believing in God, praying to Him and hoping and having all this, confidence that God gives them the blessing. What does God do? Right? He honors the faith. Do not limit His power and His goodness. Even if a person administering whatever it is not honest, deceitful, have mortal sins in their soul, right? God will look at, He sees the entire situation and honors the faith of the people. And works with that little bit mustard seed of faith. He will work with that. That's how merciful He is. He's that merciful. Okay? So, yeah. Do not stress out when, how can I, get that blessing? This person is, trust in the Lord because He knows all things. He knows every detail of all situations. And He will work with that. Do not limit Him. Again, it's like prayer. We told you, when you pray, ask for everything. Don't say, Lord, this is all I'm going to ask for you this time. Ask for everything. You're this child, right? This little child, when He says, come as a child. This child trusts in his father, in her father, all the way. They don't, they just, when they ask for something, they trust that you will give it to them. They're coming as a child. Go to the Lord as a child. And He will know what to give you, when to give you, how much, who to use to give that, through. If He wants to use somebody or some situation or something to give you the blessing, He will do it. So do not limit His power. When you ask for everything. This is God you're talking to. But He has the prerogative to say no. He has the prerogative to say not yet. He has the prerogative to say, just a little bit this time. He has all those, because he knows what's best. He knows what's best. Okay, looking in, you need this, okay. Blessing for the home. That's for January 6th. Happens to be on the day that we usually celebrate Feast of the Three Kings anyway. Any questions? Okay, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We delayed that a little bit to get more people in. But Lord, we thank you for the past year. All of the past year, everything that happened because it was your will. You allowed everything to happen because you had a perfect plan. We may not see it for years to come, but we trust in your wisdom and in your love and mercy, Lord. We pray for everyone in the last year that we have come across, that we have met, that we have encountered. And we trust that you have blessed them through us because we know that you've blessed us through them. We thank you, Lord, for all of that. And again, we put our lives in your hands. In this new year, Lord, we ask for all that is good from you. That you will guide us in all our decisions. That you will steer us closer to you. Draw us closer to you through your mother, the saints and the angels, and through other people, our families who love us. And that we would be the light that you want us to be, because that is your will. Put everything in your hands, our future in your hands. Not just this present year, but every moment of our lives. Our Father, who art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
And for our prayer to our Mother Mary, we put all those who have emailed me and told me they are sick, that she would intercede for them, hold them in her arms to comfort them and help in their healing, and for the repose of the soul of Carlos, and all those who, and we had a few who had passed, this season. I don't know why it's always something. This season, some people are experiencing, a mournful season because of family that have passed on, friends, acquaintances. We put all them in your hands, Lord. And all those who are ill, who cannot make it today, members of our family, those with chronic illnesses, those who are in hospice right now waiting to meet the Lord. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at our hour of death. Amen. And in all things we give glory to the Father, to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Okay. Dare I ask, did you make your New Year's resolution? I forgot one of the pictures that I was getting.
That was my New Year's resolution, to remind you.
Yeah. Thank you. I need to remind
You won't
you.
do it.
I need to remind you anyways, because there were a few more.
We can make
Anyways.
copies.
So, do you want to share some of these resolutions or not? You want to share some resolutions in the past that you quit on? Perhaps by the first week. Are you working on those? That's what's important. Are you working on those, resolutions? Or did you say that, December 31st or January 1st and then January 2nd, blew it already, Which is okay.
My resolution was trying to bring I got 4 boys,
Whoop.
okay? You know, Rhonda,
The Tremont.
Yeah.
Tremont.
okay, my son's engaged to her daughter. They just got engaged, but I
Okay.
want, both to get closer to the church.
Okay.
And my other son that's in the Air Force, so my goal this year is to try to help him get closer.
That's a good goal.
And I'm gonna do
Anyway.
Just kidding.
More power to you. Anyways, yes.
It's not-
Resolution?
It's not a New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Just, remember, a year ago, when we spent
Yeah.
the rosary.
Yeah.
I've kept it up.
You just get it
And
on
New
going
Year's-
and going.
New Year's Eve was day 500. And I was at the rosary every single day.
Daily rosary. What a great, and you just kept on going, and see, when it becomes a habit, it's like, you're not complete if you don't do it, right? Your day is not
This
complete.
life is not right. I can start.
And I have a resolution for you, which is what I just gave you. Not hard. It just needs to be consistent. Oh, I missed this one. It's not hard, but it has to be consistent, because when you make it a habit, a good habit, then it's easier, obviously, and you can't live without it. You can't function right, okay? So the actual title is How to Start Growing in Prayer this year. But I thought, it has to be every year, each new calendar year. And this is the author, did I not put the author in? Because she is saying, oh, Jeannie, right there. So the resolutions, But these suggestions that she gives, obviously, she was reading from Teresa of Avila. She's a Carmelite saint. But all of you have been exposed, and I give you rosaries, right? Everybody's got rosaries. Plastic one of that. But some of those were luminous or glow-in-the-dark rosaries. Who got the glow-in-the-dark rosaries? Good. Good. You're gonna laugh because it's a kiddie thing, right? It's for children. I told you, when the room is dark and all you see is this luminous rosary, by your bedside or somewhere, and you go, it's so comfortable, it's so, you know that Mary is there with you, the Lord is with you, the center of the rosary. So it's not a child thing. That rosary that glows in the dark, sometimes you'll black out or whatever, and you're the only one glowing in the room. Guess what? So it's not just for children. There's a reason I give that to adults, okay? I have a statue of Mary that's it's tiny, but it's also luminous. And if it's glowing and her shape is that, oh God, this is comfort. I know she's with me. I know she's with me. But to see that, I'm like, oh, an extra kick there, that I know she's with
Remember
me.
Preston and his rosary?
Huh?
Remember Preston, Preston
Yeah,
said about his rosary?
Preston, he's in Seattle now,
He
right?
just moved to Seattle, Preston Phillips.
Preston Phillips, who was an
morning
anchor
anchor on
at
Channel
CBS
5.
5.
Went through RCIA here. And
2 years ago?
He was a
Baptist.
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 And so he had a little hurdle getting used to Mary.
As
and
you
giving her
can-
some significance.
From a Baptist to
But once he discovered the beauty of the rosary, he kept it in his pocket, and he would be on the air, and he'd put his hand in his pocket and be holding his rosary
Yeah.
as he was reading the news on
Yeah.
air.
And that's what he said, Aurora, if you watch me and you see my hand in my pocket, I'm fingering my rosary. And I said, good boy. Good Baptist boy, now Catholic, you know? You know, Mary, they have a problem with Mary, big problem with Mary.
Something around Christmas, and they put little nativities in the front yard. And they're
Really?
okay with it. Haven't you ever seen them? I've seen Baptists put the nativities with.
Yeah, of course. On Christmas, everybody brings out their nativities at their creche, you know, only during Christmas. After that, she's gone. You know, they'll mention her, they'll talk about her, you know, so only at
It's just a
Christmas.
vessel.
Huh?
She's just a vessel.
Just a vessel. Okay, call your mom a vessel. Try. Mom, I don't have to honor you, just a vessel for me. A vessel that contains me. You know, just try that. See what mom does.
Yeah.
Not just what she says, but what she does.
Remember the old Daffy Duck commercials where he slaps the wheels on the back?
But most importantly, see what Jesus thinks. What might he think if you dishonor his mother? You know, if you could create your own mother, that's what God did. And then you slap him in the face when you insult his gift of his mother from the cross while he's hanging on the cross, giving you his mother as a gift. And then you slap him by saying, no. So see what he thinks. You know, again, when he asks you, what do you think of my mother? How did you honor my mother? Family, God bless the home, bless the house. Oh, there you go.
Bless you. Thank you.
Oh, and here it is, the New Year's resolution, I'm providing you one. I'm providing your New Year's resolution, which is to grow in prayer. And this has to be every year's resolution, it has to be every day's resolution to just grow in prayer daily. Okay, so I asked about the rosary because that's vocal prayer. Now make that a meditative prayer, which is what the rosary is. It's also a contemplative prayer. You know, it's everything. It's a mini Bible. It's the Bible, it's the poor man's Bible. The poor man, illiterate, couldn't afford a whole Bible, which cost over 10 years' wages in those times. They could not afford a Bible. But if they knew their Psalter, their Our Fathers, their Pater Noster, their Hail Mary, their Glory Be, which is all they did know by memory, through memory. And if they prayed that with the rosary, they were praying the whole Bible. They were praying the life of Christ. That's why it's called the prayers of the gospel. Prayer of the gospel, the rosary. They're meditating on the life of Christ from the moment of his conception until the moment that he crowns his mother in heaven, which is what he's going to do to all of us. He will crown us. Jesus himself will give us our crown that we have attained once we get to heaven to be with him forever. So you have meditated on the life of Christ when you pray the whole rosary, especially if you pray the whole, all the mysteries, the 4 sets, okay? So you have to now challenge you from vocal, you know, now it goes to mental, and then contemplative goes to the heart, and now it becomes you. When you're praying the beads, it becomes part of you. That's why you can concentrate on something else, you know, engage in a deep philosophical discussion, you know, meditate on the mysteries, putting yourself in the picture, you know, of the mystery that you are praying on. While you're doing this, you know, this is very therapeutic, by the way. I told you that, you know. When you're working with your hands, grandma knitting or crocheting, and then, you know, talking to somebody or doing, but they don't even look at the pattern. They know it by heart, you know, they know it. They're not looking at it anymore. They're just doing rosary, same thing. It's very tangible. It helps you. It's very therapeutic. It helps your mind. You know, the Chinese stress balls, I mean, ask any nurse, any therapy person, you know, when your hands are busy, you know, actually, it's part of healing too. It keeps your mind off the pain, you know, part of it all. And in every sect or group, you know, they have some kind of prayer beads anyway. You know, the rosary was mistaken somebody wrote to Mother Angelica years ago when she first started broadcasting, and a guy who's a Buddhist, wrote her from some far eastern country who is Buddhist, and he said, "I love your Buddhist prayer." So Mother goes, "What Buddhist prayer are you talking about?" Right? But he explained, and then the sisters told Mother, it's the rosary he's talking about. They have some beads too. Hindus, they have beads. So it's not unique to us, but we have obviously made it into, and Blessed Mother gave it to Saint Dominic. We have now meditated on the life of Christ. He's the center of the rosary. Yeah, you're going, but Hail Mary, 10 Hail Marys, 150. The center of the Hail Mary is Jesus. Don't forget that. All the prayers that we do or say, or meditate on, the center is Jesus, nobody else. Everything is centered on Jesus. Just keep that in mind. There's no idolatry here. Everything is centered on Jesus. Mary is all about Jesus. All she does is bring us to her Son. So from the vocal prayer, you need to get into the meditation. It's intimidating to some people because we don't think we have the time or the capacity for deeper thought. Well, you do. Guys, challenge. When you are filling out your sheets for your Sweet 16 or whatever it is that you do for your sports things, football and basketball, whatever. Aren't you meditating? And you're trying to analyze everything, getting all the players, you're getting all your favorite athletes and their scores and the other team's scores. You are spending it's a great example, isn't it? You spend all this time, right, analyzing, that's what you're doing, meditating, you're engaging your imagination, you imagine these players. You know what, he's a good shooter, he's a good receiver, whatever it is. You're imagining things and you're putting their scores and your analysis, their past performance, and you're putting all that knowledge into this paper and you choose your winners. Or if you're betting on horses or whatever, or looking on your stocks, whatever. You're meditating, you're engaging this in your imagination. Do that with prayer. Do that with prayer and tell you what. See what happens to your soul. You become a happier person. You're not stressed out with all, the other stuff like you do. Your gambling practices or whatever it is. Try that and feed your soul. It says spend at least 10 minutes. 5 minutes is not going to do anything, I'm telling you. You got to spend a little bit more time. Especially in this time, because everything to us is fast. Boom, boom, boom. You got to sit down, settle down, silence, quiet, and then start. Well, our topic is Bible too, so that's a good start. You start with the Word of God. Understand the deeper forms of union with God. What is the goal of prayer? It's to be united with God. First you're talking to Him. This is the goal of any lover and beloved. Start communication, right? And start building up that love, right? And then where does it, ultimately come to? Union. Union, what? Union of mind, heart, in case of spouses, union of body too. Right? But that's the goal, is to be in union, some kind of union, an understanding, a common thing that you can bond on, build your friendship and your bond, meaning you put your lives together in some way. Okay? Now, if your goal is to be in love with God, you get to know Him. How? Through prayer, through communication, through His Word that you read, through the sacraments that He instituted, through the people He put around you. Okay? So you have to build that up, but nothing happens without prayer. The basis of everything is communication, with words or not. You communicate in many ways. It doesn't have to be words. So she gives, I like this because she gives a summary of the types of prayer, and we studied this in the past, you know, the vocal, meditation, contemplation, okay? The prayer of adoration, contrition, thanksgiving, and supplication. We prayed all that. But there are other types as far as what happens or what it is affected. It operates out of one's will and moves the heart to greater love for God. These are the steps actually you're getting. She's summarizing Teresa of Avila's, you know, steps of going into greater and deeper union with God. A summary actually of the mansions in the interior castle, her masterpiece. So simplicity, it's acquired recollection, born from daily solitude and quiet. Again, in this fast-paced culture that we have, you need to steal time away to be quiet. We have our adoration chapel, you can do that. What else? When the Lord says, when you pray, go to your room and close the door. We talked about this before. Where is this room? In the church, in the adoration chapel, where is it? Here. Guys, I have this thing about you guys. You have this power of, you can sit anywhere, whether it's a noisy party or a loud thing or even in the football stadium. You can sit there and close your eyes and you're asleep. How do you do that? You can relax anywhere, right? We cannot do that. Can we, ladies? No. The guys could be at a very noisy party. Everybody's busy around them. They get on the couch and they keep quiet, and soon they are asleep. I mean, I wish I had that power. You guys do. You can have this few minutes. You can have a power nap right in the middle of a noisy birthday party, can't you? We can't. The ladies, we just not made it that way.
Girls help by talking.
What?
Girls help by talking. I'm just adding.
Justin, I know you're there. I know it when you're
I had
present.
to check in.
Yeah, I know it when you're present. Anyway, it's kind of like that in a way. You gotta, you know, go to your room, steal some time, and commune with God. Doesn't matter what's happening around you. You know, when you need to commune with God, sometimes He tells you when to do that. Sometimes He says, come here, you know. You're moving too fast. You're running too fast. You're going everywhere at the same time. Let's get together. An invitation to prayer. Holy Spirit nudges you. Let's be alone together. It kind of like that, wherever you are. You have to be able to, and this is the secret. If you put God in all the things in your life, every little activity in your life, then you are with Him. Lord, let's go drive. Lord, okay, bless this food that I'm cooking. Oh, dear angels, please don't let this bubble over. You know what I mean? God is part of all the little insignificant and significant things in your life. Everything that you do, you invite Him, the angels, Mary, the saints, anything that's spiritual, that's of God, okay? You can do this throughout your entire day, every moment of the day. And then on top of that, right, every moment of the day, bringing God in there, you'll have this special time, real quiet time. That's why I said in the beginning, you have to have a spot in your house, which is dedicated, you know, your prayer corner, maybe. It could be your favorite couch. It doesn't have to be an entire room. But it's a spot where you go, and you go there when everybody's asleep, or when everybody's out of the house. It could be your favorite chair, that's all. As long as you know you have the intention of being quiet with God for at least 10 minutes. Start with 10. Because when you start with that, you know what happens is you get used to this peace. Peace is the only addiction I would like to have. It is the only addiction that you would want to have is peace. Okay, and I'm not talking about snoring peace, you know, or sleeping peace. I'm talking about real peace in here where nothing would matter. It's the peace where you go, you know what? I feel the love of God so much, I could go right now. I could check out right now, and it wouldn't matter. I would not stress out about it. That kind of peace I'm talking about. It could be 2 minutes. It could be 9 days. You see what I'm saying? That's also kind of part of contemplation. That it's a pure gift from God. You can't do anything to invite it. You can create the situation for it, like sitting down in adoration or your prayer corner and pray quietly, start the rosary maybe, and all of a sudden you stop and there's no more words. You just feel the warm embrace of the Lord right there. You have no words for it. It's contemplation, it's union. Okay? Very, very deep. No words for it. No need to describe it. You know that you know that you know that God is right there with you. That you even feel His embrace. That you're just so blanketed with His love. You know, that's contemplation, that's union. Prayer of quiet, infused contemplation, prayer of union. Now that is very hard. Teresa of Avila would, be in ecstasy. That's complete union. Nothing you would do would, budge her or, distract her. We have saints that levitate while they're praying. They kind of go up, they're caught up. They're so in union that there's nothing else they know. They're just focused on God completely. Now that's what she was talking about. She even had a reverberation, of the heart, of her heart. Teresa of Avila is a master of the master of prayer. Even a lot of non-Catholics read her books when they want to read about prayer, and union with God. Carmelite saints. I'm very biased in them, they're over Carmelite. But anyway, but this is what I'm learning too as I am in this third order, is just the depths of prayer. You think you know what prayer is. Wait till you read the Carmelite saints in their right down on the cross. Writings on prayer, you go to the heights. I'm talking about heights that you never thought possible. Right now, a lot of people are still in the vocal. It's all, everything that you're saying, the memorized prayers, not thinking about it. We need to sit down and Our Father. When Avila dissects the Our Father line by line, it's phenomenal. And a lot of other saints have done that. Just line by line of the Our Father, to meditate on the Our Father your entire life and not reach the depths. Because it is the perfect prayer the Lord gave Himself. Okay? So, prayer of conforming union, prayer of transforming union. You see the steps that she's giving us. And then we celebrated the feast of St. Basil the Great and St. Gregory of Nazianzen. What, yesterday? When to pray. When do you pray? I'm talking about every moment of your life. Make it a prayer. St. Basil, in what century was that? He was a church father, a holy bishop of Rcia, which is modern-day Turkey, during the 4th century. He said, when you sit down to eat, pray. When you eat bread, do so thanking Him for being so generous to you. If you drink wine, be mindful of Him who has given it to you for your pleasure and as a relief in sickness. Yeah, wine is, because it's alcohol. Right? They would try to numb you, the pouring wine on your room or whatever, alcohol. That's why it's used for sickness. The wine, right, is good every day. You guys know that, for those who like wine. When you dress, thank Him for His kindness in providing you with clothes. When you look at the sky and the beauty of the stars, throw yourself at God's feet and adore Him, who in His wisdom has arranged things in this way. For your pleasure, He has the stars, He has the planets, just for you to look at and be awed at His majesty. But remember, He created the whole cosmos, the whole universe for you and I. What a gift. You know, we have pleasure with all our tangible little gifts. The Lord gave us the stars, the planets, the sun, the water, the whole world. He gave that as a gift to us. We are the masterpiece of His creation. And similarly, when the sun goes down, when it rises, when you are asleep or awake, give thanks to God, who created and arranged all things for your benefit, to have you know, love, and praise Him. And St. Paul says, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances. All circumstances. For this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. That is your New Year's resolution. You have to be creative. You know, I don't know you. You have your own habits. You have your likes and dislikes. You have to be creative, but just to grow in prayer. If you like novenas, we have so many saints or novenas, all the saints, all directed to God through the intercession of that particular saint. God does the miracles, not the saint, but the saint prays with you and for you. If you are to the rosary, a daily rosary, a good habit to get into because you're meditating on the life of Christ. Daily rosary. You know, pray a rosary for each child, for each parent, you know, for your intentions. I mean, we have so many stories about miracles through the rosary. Countless stories. The rosary stops wars. It wins battles. You know? It converts hearts and minds. So there's plenty of that to read when you become Catholic. You're going to have all of eternity, you know, reading and studying and learning about the Lord. Yes, Catholicism will give you all these avenues, open all this world of knowledge for you. As far as devotions and all that, there's never a dull moment. I can promise you that, Michael. There's never a dull moment when you're a Catholic. Deal. I'm working on this guy. Okay? There's never going to be a dull moment. Okay.
Do we all get that deal?
Yes. Even from there, I can shake your hand. But do your part, I'll do my part. I'll do my part, you do your part. Okay? And God's in the middle. He will make all things possible. But then He says, you got to do your part. Right? Catherine Rcia, Aquinas, who else? Said, you know, the God who did not need our cooperation when He created us, right? Needs our cooperation to save us. Wow. Because He gave us free will. And He would love, you know, He invites. He doesn't bully us. You know, He proposes. And we need to accept. Okay, I need a slice of that pizza now. Okay, break.